Welcome to BitBoy Crypto, the largest crypto channel on all the interwebs. My name is Ben. Every day on this channel, I show you how to make money in crypto, if that is still a thing. If you like money in crypto and you don't like dumps and you don't like red candles and you don't like yellow X's and you don't like Elon Musk, make sure to hit that subscribe button. So close to 1 million subscribers. But guys, this is an actual emergency alert video. No, this is a real one. This is a real one. I know you see it in the title. You see it in the thumbnail. You say, not one of these videos again. But guys, we have had some dramatic movement on the market. I'm sitting at home with my family. Sun's out, guns out. You know what I'm saying? Just hanging out, chilling. And all of a sudden, I look at my portfolio and I'm down $4 million. So no, I feel your pain. I feel your pain. We're going to talk about what happened. We're going to talk about what the implications are. And then we are going to talk about what the future for Bitcoin looks like right now. Okay, so what happened? That's right, yeah boy, Elon Musk. If you love him when he pumps Bitcoin, then you better love him when he dumps it, because he dumped it today. Facing a lot of political and social pressure, and snowflake people, I guess. They feel like they got to appease everybody. I guess you feel a little more pressure when you live in California, I guess. You feel a little more pressure when your whole niche is green energy and, saving the planet from Tesla. Maybe you feel a little more pressure because that's the niche that you're in. Well, I guess you gotta lie in the bed that you made, or make the bed that you lie in. I don't know how it goes, but the point is, Elon Musk came out with a tweet today. He said Tesla will no longer be accepting Bitcoin. Basically, what he implied here is that Bitcoin is bad for the environment. Now, once again, funny enough, we are actually right now working on a video that will be out probably next week on why this whole entire thing is such a farce. This is such a farce. All of these hippies, everything's bad for the environment now, like don't worry about the mining for gold energy. Don't worry about, all of the gas that it costs to get in your car and drive to the bank. You got to go in for things sometimes because they won't let you do everything online. Don't worry about all that stuff. Let's just focus on Bitcoin, which takes up roughly the power of Las Vegas. Not even a top 50 city in the world. Roughly. For all of the good stuff that Bitcoin does, this is how the people in control keep you locked down. When you start to make progress, they swat you down, and then they do it in the name of whatever the popular cause. Right now, it's environmentalism, okay? Fact is, Bitcoin overall has a positive effect on the environment. We will be saving that for a different video. If you were to compare the energy consumption of Bitcoin to that of Ethereum, it uses more energy than Ethereum. If you were to compare Ethereum to Cardano, Ethereum uses more energy than Cardano, and you can go on down the list and find a lot of comparisons. But that's not the point. Sorry, you hear my bulldog. He's over here barking because he's mad at Elon Musk too, okay? Fact is, this has caused such a dramatic fall in the market that we don't really know what's happening right now. It dropped all the way down to $45,500. It did almost immediately bounce back up above $47,000. So we had a perfect storm today of the inflation news for the US dollar, which ultimately is a net benefit to Bitcoin, okay? That will be proven. The stock market crashing. Then on top of that, we have Elon Musk dumping the price of Bitcoin. Not good, guys. It's definitely not good. It's a perfect storm, which has plunged Bitcoin below the number I never thought we'd see it below again, which was 47K. I would like to point out, though, it wicked down and then wicked right back up and is now once again approaching $50,000. This is why you don't panic sell, okay? Price of Bitcoin was at $52,000 just a couple of hours ago. If you would have panic sold at $45,000, $46,000, it bounced right back to 49, okay? So don't panic sell during these times. You're better off just sitting tight. This is not the end of the bull market. However, is this the beginning of the end for Bitcoin as the #1 overall cryptocurrency? Does seem like political pressure. It seems like society pressure. It seems like hippie pressure is pushing Bitcoin into the corner. But if you remember, the Bank of America themselves said the #1 value of Bitcoin is that it goes up in value. And so not a lot of transactions have to actually be done on the network, but we do have Bitcoin mining, which is a problem. But let me tell you this. Bitcoin has the power. The Bitcoin network has the power to change the consensus algorithm from proof of work to proof of stake. It would be a multi-year, almost impossible scenario to get everyone to agree to do this. But if the pressure became so great that it did start dramatically affecting the price of Bitcoin, then we could see that. But this leads us to other chains that are going to get the benefit of the electric car loving hippies out there who think that Bitcoin is bad for the environment because they're sheeple, okay? You just see that headline and you believe it. We are going to debunk this so hard. It's unreal. You are going to see this next week. Michael Saylor destroyed someone who interviewed him this week asking about that question because it is asinine to believe that the overall net impact of Bitcoin on the environment is negative. It is insane to believe that. So, but you got brainwashed hippie sheeple out there and they just believe whatever people tell them. Well, let me tell you this. They will be exposed. This will eventually be exposed. But in the meantime, you guys know I do love Ethereum. I do love Cardano. And I'll tell you something. I may have some big stuff in the works that you guys wouldn't believe. Can't tell you exactly what it is right now, but something big could be on the horizon. But the fact is, other chains, Solana, Elrond, Tezos, many of these other chains use far less energy than Bitcoin, even far less than Ethereum. But Ethereum, of course, is switching over to proof of stake, meaning that once that happens, we could see a gigantic decrease in the amount of energy consumption that it uses. But guys, let's just all turn off our phones because it takes battery chargers, which, you know, that charger has got to go into a wall. So do you love the environment? Do you love your country? Guys, I can't believe I've got this light on right now. This light is on right now. It's unbelievable how selfish I am to believe in lights for my home. The whole thing is infuriating to me. It makes me really want to, have some choice words for Elon Musk right now. He has just caved to pressure, which I wouldn't think is what he should be doing. There's a lot of hardworking people out there that don't buy into this craziness. And I think that over time, the narrative will switch on this. But in the short term, what are we looking for Bitcoin? Now, of course, if you want a long or short Bitcoin, if you think this is positive or negative news, you guys head on over to bitcoincrypto.com/deals. We got an incredible deal for VMEX. That's a $2,000 deposit bonus. It's not on the website, but when you click the VMEX link, it'll take you to their site. Also, Bybit, $1,610 sign-up bonus. You can't lose with that bonus. Well, you could lose a trade, but it's a big bonus. That's the point. A lot of people are trading right now. I think we're going to see the volume coming in extremely high tomorrow. I told you guys earlier, if you watch the stream, the live stream from this morning, I was ready to go long. And then what did I say? I said, ooh, actually, there's somebody in the chat pointed out blood diamond on the 4-hour chart. So we saw the blood diamond on the 4-hour chart. I said, let's take that back. Let's not long right now. Let's wait for a good entry. And, sometimes you just wonder where that bottom is. But I think we've hit it. I think we'll be back over 50, beginning that climb back. But the overall news today of the inflation in the stock market crash, that's actually bullish. Bearish in the short term. But Bitcoin solves the inflation problem. It is a limited supply. So for that reason, I think ultimately this could take us on the next leg up. We don't think there's no data out there indicating we are at the top of the market. You guys need to know that. Don't be scared off right now. HODL. Be safe. Watch your boy, BitBoy Crypto. I'm going to give you all the news that you need to know, even when I'm sitting at home with my family. Sometimes I got to get on here and talk to my digital family. That is you guys, the Bit Squad. I love you guys so much. HODL. Don't get scared. That's all I got. Be blessed. BitBoy out.